subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to get all my latest writing tips and videos. And remember, be original. Be a writing original. What's up everybody, Adrian here, back with another video of every horror movie subgenre. This is part 5. We're going to take a look at psychological thrillers and touch on phobia, madness, and paranoia, and home invasion and survival. Now this one's going to be interesting because I think psychological horror is like one of the hardest genres to write because you're not relying on hack and slash and gore and visuals. Like, you really have to figure out a way to convey the horror, but from like a mind perspective. Like, you got to mess with people's minds or the audience's like minds. And like, I can even talk about the realism of horror, because sometimes fantasy is not as scary as reality, and reality can really mess you up. So that's why thrillers and psychological horror films are much harder to write. And they can even be scarier than just, a guy in a mask, cutting people up. So, if you're a writer, or, you're writing a screenplay or a book or really anything, and you need like an idea about some horror subgenres to write about, well then, this is the video for you. We're going to talk about a lot of subgenres that you never even heard before. Or if you're not a writer, you just want to learn something about the horror movies and the subgenres in general, well, then sit back and enjoy the video. Let's begin. Okay, so psychological horror and thriller. Psychological horror and thriller is part of the horror that feels the most real, since it features the work of humans, either that have become crazy or that are stranded in exceptional situations. Often linked with the thriller genre, these films build most of their horror around psychological tension, madness, and paranoia. Human mind is something we will never truly understand, and this genre is here to remind us of it. Often close to the slasher genre, these films are nevertheless different in that they do not emphasize on the killing, but on the madness, the craziness induced by supernatural forces or not, or of the characters itself. So, some movies to take a look at, obviously, Psycho 1960, Frailty 2001, one of my favorite films by the late, great Bill Paxton. A Tale of Two Sisters 2003, never saw that, but it looks like a Japanese horror. Another film you could take a look at is The Audition, another Japanese horror. In that, it is like a mixture of torture porn, but psychological thriller. It's crazy. And The Ward by John Carpenter. But I saw that and it stunk. But you still take a look at it because it's John Carpenter, I guess. Also, I'm sure we'll talk about Silence of the Lambs, which all these movies, like I said, have in common the realism, which sometimes can be scarier than just like a hack and slash, made up story or whatever. So it's very hard to write thriller and psychological horror because you gotta get into the mind of the killer and convey to the audience, like, why is he doing this? So it's not that easy. So let's continue. Next subgenre is phobia and isolation. A subgenre that typically puts people in a situation related to our worst fear and phobia. The most commonly used is probably claustrophobia, but modern horror tends to strand people everywhere. That's funny because I'm actually writing a short story about aphidophobia. If you know what that means, it's fear of snakes. So that's really cool. Another movie that comes into mind is Arachnophobia, I think in 1990. So definitely check that one out. But some other films you should check out is Frozen 2010. I saw that. It was okay. It's like a situational horror where people are stuck on a ski lift and it stops. And then they got to figure out a way, either if you jump, you might die or break your bones. And then you have nowhere to go. You got to deal with wolves. You got to deal with the cold. Who knows? But 247 Degrees from 2011. Also saw that about a group of people who get stuck in a sauna and they can't get out. And then it malfunctions and it keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. That was okay. It was like a 50-50. Like if I was in a mood, like yeah, I would like it, but then I would not like it. I don't know. So check that out. The Descent, that was pretty good. I like that. Bunch of people in a cave dealing with some like creatures in the dark. Very claustrophobic. Buried with Colin Farrell. That was really good. I liked it, but it's in one place. It's just in a coffin. He's stuck in a coffin, and he has a little bit of cell phone battery left, and he calls a couple people, and it's a pretty good twist at the end. I like it, but there's lots of these phobia and isolation movies, so definitely check them out to give you a good idea of how to write a story like this. And finally, we're going to finish off psychological thrillers with home invasion and survival. I think we might have touched on this category in a previous video because some of the categories have sub-genres like spill or bleed into other subgenres, which makes sense. So this one is a genre that becomes more and more popular in recent years, home invasion, survival. The title says it all. So some movies you could take a look at to give you an idea of how to write these types of genres is Inside, 2007, The Strangers, 2008, Funny Games is another one off the top of my head, You're Next, 2011, The Purge, 2013, and another psychological thriller that also came into my mind but is not in this category, but American Psycho with Christian Bale, in his earlier career before he became Batman. You know, where are they? Yeah. But before that, he started American Psycho, which was like a remake, not really, of Psycho, where he's like a yuppie and I don't know, he's like kidnapping women and torturing them, but is it like all in his brain? Is it a cocaine induced like dream, or is it real? Who knows? But I like that movie. That was pretty good. So I hope this psychological thriller subgenre really, helps you out to write a book or a screenplay or whatever it is you're writing. So we still got a lot more videos about these horror subgenres to come. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 100 subscribers. I'm almost there. We're in October right now. I got a lot of Halloween and horror movies and how to write a screenplay, writing tips and all that for horror films coming out in October. So please guys, subscribe. Until next time, thank you so much. Love you guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like, share this video, hit me up on Facebook and Twitter, comment down below. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also don't forget to check out my other videos. And until next time, remember my motto, where story comes first.